And hello, everyone. This is MC Hellspawn. Welcome to my stream. You're watching my very first stream ever. Here we are playing FortressCraft Evolved in my patch 19 world that I've been playing for a little while now. Um, so this first stream here, we're not going to take it too seriously. We're not going to do too much. We're just going to walk around a little, show you around the base, and let you get used to what's going on around here. And we'll take it easy there, and we'll come back around and try something else next time. So let's get started. So this is, as I said, a patch 19 world. It was started on patch 19. It's been upgraded to patch 20. FortressCraft Evolved. Resources are plentiful. Powerful is plentiful, but not rapid. We're on normal day-night cycle and normal mobs. Death mode is none, so I am not losing my inventory when I die. But I'm still trying not to die as much as possible. I'm not using the let's die at the bottom of the big cave method of getting to the top if I don't have to. Care package never finished game yet, so haven't opened that. And so we are playing with normal mobs, so the CPH is not that big of a deal when it dies, but I am still trying to not lose battles. Try to manage my threat level. Currently, my base is riding right around 2,000 to 2,500 threat. As you can see, I have lost 4 times. I've really tried not to, but I have. Yep. Even that's even with a lot of this setup here I have above here. So what I have going on up here, let me find a quick and easy way up here. There's nothing ever quick and easy around here. So this is just a little platform I have going on above my CPH. I have some infused coal feeding up from the bottom, which I'll show you in a little bit. And it's just feeding to a bunch of little stations with some uh, pyrothermic generators feeding into some power cells, level 2 and level 1, with a bunch of tier 2 turrets on them. About 10 per station. Some of them have a little bit more, some a little bit less. We're just started building out into this corner, these outer corners here, just the last time I played, because I'm really starting to get to a point where I cannot keep up with my threat and progress through the game still. So I'm trying to increase my defense capability. Even though I'm not so sure it's really going to work, I might just have to bite the bullet, lose another battle or two, and go while I research the MK3 turrets. But for now, this is my defensive structure. I believe I got all 4 of the outer ones in last time I played, although now I want to get some in on these 4 corners. And I did not finish that correctly. Function. It's one of the greatest things. I wish some of the other games had that. So here's my spider bot. He's only got his cannons right now. I haven't fed him any more power. I fed him originally. He used up all his power, and I've let him sit like that basically because I'm trying to collect bug parts, and Spiderbot makes a big mess with bug parts all over the place. So we're leaving him there. These 2 outer rooms, yes, I am setting up rooms. These 2 outer rooms are production rooms. One side is all the more complex stuff, which currently I'm building that in the bottom. Basically anything that needs power is going to be done on this side. This stuff is set up out here only because there used to be a room here, and I just haven't set the stuff back up yet in a new room, so that's where it's sitting until I do that. My garbage collector, which just has some hoppers down there with the super construction paste grinders. Yes, I do have the Dapper pack. With the super heist sitting up there feeding into my inventory. And so every once in a while I just come by here. I pretty much keep my inventory pretty clean, but you know, I have my pile of organic deuterius that I'm giving away, and every once in a while I get down to the rough-hewn rock. See, this is how I am currently feeding up coal to the upper defenses. I have 4 hoppers here getting fed from down below, which is just feeding conveyors up to the areas splitting off from here. This little area here is my research area. Again, it was in a room where all the research pods were being built automatically, but I chose to move that room back there to space this out more and make everything nice and even. Yeah, like that. And so this is still sitting here. I got to use up some of these pods before I move, and then I'm going to move this setup back into that building up there. And that's where I'll be setting up all the research pod manufacturing. And then I'll set up the research lab somewhere either outside or inside the room. Not really sure yet. Haven't figured that out. Uh, I do have lift set up. This is my main lift following my entire mine shaft, which is right parallel with this. I plan to eventually, if I have to, keep the mine shaft building all the way up to this lift shaft, although I don't think I'll need that many shafts. I think I have almost as many as I'll need for the entire game right now, which I'll show you in a little bit. This room here is a power generation room, and as you can see, I have crates stacked in the floors. They're multi-level crates. They go down a few levels. This one here is all my good stuff, my machines, lenses, gems, pings, bug parts, the good bug parts, and any excess resources that I've made that I didn't need. This is just some random stuff that I really didn't know what to do with. And here we have my useless bug parts, which this is getting pretty full. Actually, I believe I'm 100% full. Yeah, so I'm 100% full. I'm just about at the point now where I'm going to start making, well, I have a room down in the cold caverns where I'm going to power and start processing the ruined bug parts down there into recombined matter. Here is my teleporter down to the cold caverns. I plan to make it into a teleportation room. Where is the problem? I haven't really figured out. This is my main power generation room. Teleporters take a lot of power. I'd like it to be near, but as you can see, I'm not really sure. So maybe when I move these crates, I'm going to put a room right here. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. I do plan to move the door to this room anyway, to one of the ends. So that might end up working out pretty well, and then I can feed it lots of power from this room without shooting a laser halfway across the base like I'm doing over there. So what we have in this production room is a lot of the basic stuff. I've gone through the recipes and I figured out all the basic resources that are used, and I've tried not to make just all the plates because I didn't really figure that we needed all the plates being made. So I looked at all the plates that were commonly used, at least that needed to be used independently, not within a specific crafting recipe. So I figured I would need tin plates and titanium plates for the most. I have these hoppers here with 100 that I can grab from any time, but inside the room, I'll show you in a little bit, it's also feeding down to a mass storage system where there's a few thousand of each of these resources being stored for later automation of other resources and utilities and stuff that I'm going to have made automatically for me. So we have gold wire here and copper wire, same concept. I didn't really want to make all the wires and stuff, just the ones that got used in recipes. So same thing, 100 here, 100 here, and then there's conveyors feeding down into mass storage for major crafting later. Here's all the PCBs that get used. So we have the conductive, the lightweight, and the fortified. We have iron gears. I know we need lots of iron gears, so I decided to stack up 300 of them. I really could do this with almost any of these setups here. These are the ones that I thought I would need to be able to grab lots of, certainly at least while I'm building up the base. Maybe after the base is all built and everything's automated, I might take some of these out. But for now, while I'm building the base, I certainly need these. Here we have lightweight machine housings. Here we have charged lithium coils, servo motors, and primary upgrade modules. And all of these, although I'm not sure if I finished primary upgrade modules yet, they're all feeding down into a mass storage downstairs, again, for to be used in later processing, because I plan to automate things like the energy cells, the mass storage input outputs, um, power cores. Actually, the power cores are 1 through 3 are already automated right here. So we're power boosters, I should say. So we're automating away there, and I'm just going to automate the 4 and 5 right here next to them. So that's going, and what the heck happened there? Somebody stole my conveyor. Huh. All right, still got power, so it couldn't have been that gone that long. So let's check out the inside of this room. So these rooms, this one's not finished because I have a huge coal thing that was in my way down below on the 3rd floor that I'm working on clearing out. I'm actually just mining it and shoving it right into a bunch of copper wires, right there, right at the coal vein. I'm almost at a point where I may just start knocking it out with nano disintegrators, getting a little bit more out of it, maybe a couple more layers, get this automation going and use some more of those copper wires. But it's getting in my way, and I'd really like to finish this building, so it's not going to last much longer. But see, here's my power core automation. Minimal storage inside here with the feeding out to the conveyor, the coppers out there. We are feeding the copper up from a main feed line we have coming out of our mass storage, and we're making it into the coils right here. From here, we feed it into the Tier 1 MK Power Booster Charger, and then we just keep wrapping around in a tier going up to the Tier 3. I mean, up to the Tier 3. Just power generating right here. Since the Tier 3 needs a lot of power, I'm just figured it'd be easier to just generate lots and lots of as much power as I could, at least in this compact little area. So I'm bringing infused coal in directly from my main mass storage right into a small little power generation used just for this. I know it's not going to be able to support 4 and 5, so I'm probably going to wait until I have biomass production, production and energy production from biomass before I start worrying about 4s and 5s. And this is what we have for automation of the upgrade modules. So you see it's really set up to make them as fast as possible. Then we have, of course, what is this? Servo motors on the top. You can see there's the conveyors going all the way down. And so there's something else on the bottom. I can't see exactly what's down here. Lightweight machine housings are. And then here we have the making into. Oh no, this is lightweight machine housings and the iron gears. Oh, charged lithium coils. We also, here's the PCBs coming in. And you see, I'm setting up everything so it's as compact as possible while still trying to be as productive as possible to be able to replenish supplies quickly. I may end up having to double up on some of these, but I think this will do, especially since I'm building up a large backstock. Once I get through the initial stocking of things, this should work. The problem I'm having though is feeding this much ore and this much power to keeping this production running is making my threat too high, and I'm bringing on bosses, and I can't kill bosses yet. Try to bring up this base at the full speed, and this threat will get up to 4,000 or 5,000 real quick. Sorry about that. Had to cough. Get a drink. So, and I noticed the game's audio was off, so I just turned the game's audio back on. So let's hope maybe it comes through. Hopefully it's not too loud. I'm not seeing it show up at all, so maybe it's not loud enough. But this isn't my first stream, so bear with me, please forgive me. Oh, and here's my report. Pretty much the only thing I ever look at this thing for is really to make sure that my conveyors aren't infested. Did accidentally leave one set of conveyors out a little too long. Really try not to use conveyors in the anything below 80. So this hive over here did start growing, but I caught him, and I started working away at him from behind. Nice coal supply over here, thankfully. Supply has been feeding this entire section here where I'm actually enriching and infusing the coal here, bringing it up here. And I've got this station set up where on the bottom here we are taking the liquefied and turning it into the enriched, or whatever it is there, refined, I should say. And we've moved the actual liquefier. Oh, there we go, flying around. And the ablator up there, just to try and get that. When I do decide to turn this back on, again, it's turned off because of my threat generation. I'm going to have to move it in a little further, get all that stuff up there. Start clearing this out. And then I'll see if I can't actually start feeding this guy on purpose and maybe start generating some back and peeling it away slowly. Just to constantly get a farm going. It's not that far from my base. I could probably make that work, especially once I get some good power generation going on. So that's my plan for that. We'll have to see how it goes, see if he still is the one that's growing or what. Or maybe I'll just kill him. I've never really actually blown one up before. I haven't used the chargeable explosives yet. So I do have that. Maybe I'll do that and see what it looks like. Somehow, when I started this world, though, I was walking around and I did just find one of those bug brain things just lying down on the ground. I have no clue why, but I got it still. Um, so. So inside this room is actually completed, although not all of the production is inside of it. This is the way I want the other room to be set up. So we have an upper floor. I found a neat little trick. I didn't realize it. I hope DJ doesn't fix this on me. But these crates don't seem to be detected as actual solid blocks by the room controller. So I have the room controller in here with a lift going between 3 levels. And here's the room controller down below with nothing but crates above it, which allow it to see the upper floors. It doesn't see this as the roof. And it seemed to work. When I had just this hole here for the elevator, it didn't seem to see it. And when I had it, unless I had the room controller in the cavity for the elevator, and then, ooh, but anyways, then it tried to keep seeing the edge of this cavity here as the borders of the. All right. So yeah, it was either way. It didn't work. Maybe it was supposed to. Maybe I did something wrong. I don't know. But this worked. I liked it. It's a really nice, clean room. 3 levels. That's pretty much how my entire base is set up. Is 3 levels. You have obviously the ground floor or level 0 where the CPH is. I really built my base down from there. Oh yeah, I was gonna build something up. So yeah, I really built my base down from the CPH, except for these singular rooms along the top. Before we continue the tour. Let's see. We're at 18. Yeah, okay. I can handle. Usually, I can handle a good wave of 20 or so heavies. If it starts getting up into the 30s or 40 heavies, then I usually don't have enough power and I start running out. I will usually make it, but It can get tough near the end. Sometimes I have to come in and help out. I really should power up Spider-Bot, but like I said, he's a pain in the butt for collecting the bug parts. Of course, now I have too many bug parts, so I really should do that and just skip them. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing for a little bit. Certainly while I research the MK3 turret. So this is my secondary floor. It's just built 3 high. I kind of wish I'd built it 4 high, but I think it'll work. I'm only 2 high, which gives me room to walk around as long as there's only one conveyor. Wish it was 4 high because sometimes I do have 2 conveyors that cross over each other, and that makes it really hard to get by. But I'm making it work. It's been okay. Like I said, I wish it was 4 high. Maybe I'll change it. I don't know. That's a lot of work to move this floor. You can also see at each room, yeah, at each level, these 2 main production rooms have um, airlocks onto the level, which I thought was really cool. You know, you can this other room here is going to have a lift when you walk into it once the bottom floor is done, so that'll make it really nice. This is the main conveyor feed I was talking about. So over here at the end, we have all of the main bar types coming up out of our mass storage, which you'll see in a little bit, feeding into the main conveyor. I think what I'm going to actually do is this conveyor is just feeding around the room to the main production lines, and as you can see, when I need a resource as an area, I just pull it up out of the way from the other conveyors, put a splitter, a turntable on it, split it off to the side, and send it off into the room so it's needed. Doing it this way, I'm actually able to get one resource in every other. I haven't really found a better way yet. If anyone's got any ideas, I'd love to hear it. I kind of screwed this one up. I really should bring this one over, just keep it as compact as possible. Which, the way I've got it set up in there, I really can do that. I've got a little bit of leeway about where things get plugged in. But at the same time, most likely, not much more is going to get it fit into this whole way down here anyway. Just a little bit more room here for anything. But I may squeeze them down if I need really to get some extra room out of it. But you can see the setup also allows me to go either way with the output. So in essence, if I really needed to, I could get in the same path 2 outputs. I guess potentially, maybe I could swing it around and bring it down this way. I don't know. Maybe because this turntable will try and feed onto it. It gets weird. That's what I'm doing for now. Like I said, if anyone else has some good ideas, I'd love to hear it. But this is working. It feeds all the way around the room for now. Even for now, I don't really plan to change that. It's going all the way around the room. The only thing I do plan to change is at some point when I need to extend it, these rooms are just going to keep getting extended along this way as I need to keep building more and more different resources. So I'm going to keep extending this along with it. I will just break it here, point it all back up that way, do the same thing over on that side, and bring it back across. And then that way it'll just keep going and going and going. Never really building a room here. I'm going to keep all of this open, at least multi-level wise. No production will go on in here, I don't think, or no serious production. Like Spider-Bot is probably going to stay here. Maybe I'll put some sort of room for this stuff here, around here. I'm not really sure. But it shouldn't need this stuff, or at least not lots of it. That's really my goal. I'm going to keep all that into these 2 side rooms. And so then you see it comes down here, and right now it just ends right about here because I don't have production really going on in this room too much yet. So the idea is that I'm going to bring this all the way down and probably right about to this, or right about to where this green crate is ending, and actually bring it right back and feed it right back into this setup and just make a constant loop going on up here. So the ingots that are up here will be constantly in loop. So see right now we have a ton, not a ton, but we have a bunch of tin ingots that are all the way on that side, but they're not really getting in use because there's nothing that needs tin over there right now. So if I loop it back in here, then it'll be feeding the tin right back in, and anything that's just on the conveyor will just get used, and as there's a spot on the conveyor to get filled up, it'll get filled up from the bottom right at this section. And maybe I will add more feeds into the conveyors so I can speed up the amount of infeed. because as you can see, the tin is running out because tin is used for everything. Gee, I wish DJ would bounce. The way tin is used, it does seem like it got used a little too much. As you can see, this room is feeding my power. It's feeding really kind of everything to do with my power. There's power generation in here, but there's also coal processing in there. So I bring the coal into the bottom of that room. I process it on the middle tier into the infused, um, and then I store it in another mass storage inside there and feed it out of the mass storage into the rest of the base that needs it, or into the generation that's going on inside the room. There's a generation room on the top and a generation room on the bottom for the various needs around the base. So as you can see, I'm still digging this floor out. This section has to go. There's a little bit more up there that has to go. The lower floor is probably the least finished, although there's a new, I don't know, super sub basement that I started building to help feed in some resources along the bottom to some of the more higher tier production lines. So here we have my lower floor. This is storage and ore processing, and the main feed for the uh, mine shaft. So this is my main mine shaft. Several cargo, what are these cargo lifts long? Right now we just have the basic cargo lifts in them, but it's doing fine for me. As I said, I can't even keep up with what we have right now anyway, so it doesn't matter. As you see, this is pretty much the setup I've been going with my last 2 or 3 worlds. It's a 3, cargo lift happens to be 3 wide, so it just is a nice setup to hook up 3 hoppers. Let me get up here so you can see. It's actually 3 hoppers, 2 high, with conveyors right in front of them, just pulling out of the hoppers directly in. Logistics logistics grommets are put here because I'm eventually going to build a room up and around the uh, smelters to try and increase their efficiency. I've heard that clean rooms can increase their efficiency. I'm going to see what that does. But I'm going to have to do some adjusting around because I've got some space issues on this side. But we'll get there. We'll get there. So yep, three smelters per ore, feeding into stocking ports into the mass storage. Each stocking port is set to about 2,000 per resource. I think they all are right now. Yep. Tin, obviously, as you see, it's the one I am missing a ton of. Processing as much as I can. Thought about adding more smelters here just temporarily, but I'm already having problems with those damn mobs. So leaving them alone. Oh, wait, not massives. Perfect. Yep. So we are up to the tier 3 IO, although really I can only afford to do it with the stocking port. The output port takes a lot of power boosters, which is a little weird to me, but whatever. So I just, you see, I just got them automated, so maybe now I can start affording them. But either way, I can barely feed the system. Why bother working to pull them out of the system quickly? So this mass storage is going to be set up for the basic resources. I bring in crystal into here and all the bars. I will end up bringing the molybdenum and chromium into this as well. I am converting crystal directly into crystal clocks right here at the cargo lift, but I'm also bringing some crystal directly into the mass storage as well. I do have an output over here of some crystal clocks, just so I can grab them, and then it just refills and goes and gets me more out of the mass storage, and then makes some more and does its thing with the cargo lift and all that happy stuff. So all of the tier 1 and 2 ores, is that right? These are tier 2 ores, I believe. Are automated. I have found. I don't remember. I don't think I found a great ore vein for all of my tier 2 ores yet. I do believe I have a pretty good one for. Oh yeah, that's right. I just found a really good one for gold, and I think I have a pretty decent one for titanium. But my platinum one is a little weird. I think it's actually really small, like 20,000 or something like that. Here's my outputs from my mass storage going up to the main conveyor. As you can see right now, it goes backwards a little bit. And I think right when I do the full loop, I'll actually just go it straight up, just cut out all those conveyors right there. And my goal, by the way, for this playthrough is, I had heard that DJ Arcus, the creator of this game, is really trying to set the game up so you're not walking around like people used to do with tens of thousands of ingots or bars in their inventory, make crafting away, whatever the heck they wanted to craft. He wanted to build in all of these different resource types and different crafting ingredients. And so I'm really trying to play the game the way he's intended to be played, intended for it to be played by not carrying around the ingots. As you can see, I've almost got my inventory. I had thousands of ingots up in my inventory up until very recently. Almost got my inventory completely empty. I don't remember where all the platinum came from, but the titanium came from, but I'm sure it goes somewhere. So I'm almost there. Copper is one of my biggest things. As you can see, this is this massive vein that is sitting down here. Copper just seems to be insanely abundant in this world. I mean, here we have just under 1 million. That's finally under 1 million, thank God. There you can see I have a waypoint for a copper. We're at 63.2 million. Somewhere on here, yep, the tin copper mother lode. That tin is 83 million and the copper is 73 million or 72 million or something like that. It's crazy huge. When I hook up to that one, I'm pretty sure that'll be the end of the game. I won't ever need another one from there. By then, I will have plasma heads and we'll be mining that at 100% efficiency. And that should be the last we need. If we ever even make it to that with all the other copper that's around. I don't think I'm going to go after that one. I think I'm just going to go right after that one and bring the tin and copper in at the same time. As you can see, I found a decent lithium one. When I'm done with the one I'm mining, I'm going to go to that one. That's a decent iron one. I think that'll be my next one. I think the one I'm at right now is pretty good. Still going to go for a while. But yep. So, and then this mass storage is set up to take all of the complex crafting ingredients that we're making to be used in later recipes. I won't really grab from the mass storage. I have, if I really needed it, I dig through here. It's like, oh, okay, this one. Oh, lightweight PCBs, that's what I need. And I grab the whole thing. But I try not to. That's why I have upstairs set up. As you can see, this down here is already starting to be built like a room. I feed everything from upstairs down into these conveyors, outside through the grommets, and over into the stocking ports to start stocking. I believe I'm stocking about 1,000 of everything except for, yeah, the copper wire and some of the plates. Yeah, tin plates has a lot. I really should think about feeding these tin plates into the lightweight housing crafter, but I don't know. It's got a lot of tin plate conversion. This is that big copper vein that I was talking about. Once it's gone, I'll close the walls up and I'll put the lift into this room and make it the 3-floor room and really start building out production down here. But I'm trying to get as much out of it as I can before I destroy it. If I could just get rid of this little bit, I think I'd be happy. But it's doing pretty good. There's actually way more down in the ground too. I did super build and cut it off all the way at the bottom, so now it's just working away at this that's above ground. Um, I don't know. I can't let it go much longer. It's been going for almost the entire time I've been playing this world, and yeah, it's taking forever. Mainly because I really can't keep just storing tons and tons of it. This one's set to 5,000 already. I don't need 5,000 wires, although I guess I could do it over the life of the game. I will with just the amount of conveyors I'm going to use. Here's some more stocking ports with some more stuff coming down from upstairs. And again, all of it's just set to store various amounts of the things that I thought I would need for later crafting recipes. And we have our other room over here set up much like our other production room upstairs. This is how they're all going to be set up, with outputs outside for me to grab more, and with the interior also outputting to send it back into the mass storage to be used later. But I haven't actually output these into the mass storage yet. I'm trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to work that in this room. This room's been set up a little bit differently because it needed power. So I did the induction chargers in the floors being fed power from the bottom. Not a ton of power is being fed in yet. Can't really do a ton. I'm able to support all of these uh, machines without a problem so far, but we don't have anything in here that's taking like hundreds of power per second yet. So this is working all right. So we have a couple of plants in here, manufacturing plants in here. These first few sections are just going to be crafting some of the basic needs to build your base. Let's see, what do we have out here? We have so storage hoppers are crafted. We'll have some mass storage blocks. As you can see, I'm going to be using mass storage heavily. So as I get into more of like the tier 2 crafting pieces, I'm going to build another mass storage here. And as I've said, the plan is to just keep pushing this wall back in the base and just keep going back and back and back. So if I need more, I'll just keep building more and more and more back there. And I have another level down below here where I'm using to feed more. This one I made 5 tall, which I was smart this time. I'm using this one to feed between mass storage and manufacturing area as well, kind of like I'm using the middle area, but I really like the 5 tall. It's much better. And there we go. So that's the first one. Yep, was making mass storage. Here we're making well, I don't think they're set up yet, right? Oop, we just got orbital impact. Yeah, no, not set up yet, but that's going to be where the tubes go. So that means below that is the conveyors. Then this one is going to be power cell tier 1, power cell tier 2, and then we're going to do pyrothermic generator and induction charger plate. And then somewhere in there, I'm also going to, I think I may end up having to move something down or move them. Maybe I'll do power generation somewhere else and keep them with this, but I'm going to have to be doing, laser energy transmitter MK1 and MK2. Later on, I'll have to have a place for MK3s. I do have a room to go up top and up above one more, and could probably squeeze in another manufacturing plant set up there if I had to. If I got really, really tight with things, I could bring this back down. I have room there. I've been using the one-way storage hopper things. Is that what they're called? I forget what they're called. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, directional storage hoppers. I like those. Those have been added. I think it was patch 20. Those got added. I've been liking those, so I've been using those to kind of control the flow, so I can keep everything nice and compact. Very nice ad, DJ. And so, yep, this is starting to get built out. I had a real need for the hardened machine blocks so I could start getting the tubes so I could get my tier 2 ores up here. So I built that out. Might have jumped the gun a little bit, but it's working out. And then that's feeding up to the alloyed storage block crafting, which right now I think is probably waiting on gold, but I have a lot of my transport of materials shut off so I can control my thread a little bit better. You see, I really like the way the lift can just bring me between floors, and then I can just hop out on any floor. About hooking up the titanium and nickel and gold, but it's going to kill me probably, and I'd much rather use the death to get my tier 3 turret, which would at least probably make it so I could survive the next attack. So I think the last time I played, starting to feed. That's why I have that. That's why I have the titanium, because I was starting to feed the ore into this guy, which is these were all set up automatic to build experiment pods for the 4 tier 1 ores. But this one here, I just set up a single machine to make the individual tier 3 ones as I needed them for now. Again, because I didn't really have them coming up automatically at the time. When I put it all in here, it'll be all the tier 1 and tier 2 ores automated, although I honestly thinking by the time I get it all done, I might not even need it much anymore. But what am I going to do? I'm going to keep going. Just to build it, just to say it's done. So, really should. That's empty. That's empty. Good. So I counted out right last time. So, last time I put 50 in here and 150 in there, and I got 25. Now I'm trying to get enough to do advanced defense, and I need 75. So that means I really need 300 and 100. So 400 titanium, and that should get me to one more full batch of titanium. That should get me to what I need for those experiment pods. So let me go down here. My ore processing happens to hold 300 sitting at the ore processing area. So I can grab that 400 just like that. It'll take a little bit to replenish that, and that will raise my threat a little bit in itself. But we should be able to survive that, I think. So again, it should be twice what I did last time to get me 50, and I did here and 150 here. Is that what I said? Yeah, that's right. So let's do 100 here, and we'll do the full 300 here. Takes a bit to finish off, but then we'll end up with the 75 in there. And I think what I'll do is I'll temporarily just move this one conveyor up to this one, and we'll do the gold the same way. And that will get me ready to do my tier 3. Tier 3, whatever the research is called, so I can get my tier 3 turret. Once I get my tier 3 turret, I should be able to start holding off the bosses, I think. Well, missiles will be in there as well, so I might have to get some missile setups. I did figure out a long time ago in my last world, it's pretty good to get your missiles up. Stop that. Pretty good to get your missiles up kind of high above your CPH. I'll probably build them out around this ring, maybe another 30 blocks into the air. On facing on the outside, so it has nice line of sight with everything. But I do know that they do not attack heavies until they get much more powerful. But bosses, they should have no problem going after. So between the tier 3 turrets and the lasers, that should hold them off so I can start progressing at a normal pace again. I'm kind of stuck here for a while because I think I have really too much going on my base right now. I think my base is a little too built out for the progression of my defense right now. So I think that's the problem. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not really sure. But we'll see. I like building out, as you can see. I like to think my base is pretty well put together. It's pretty well organized. So, I may have done that just a little too fast before I was ready for it. I'm not sure. Quite sure how the threat works in this, but show you this room. This is, like I said, it's power generation. The upper floor is just a long, big bank of feeding coal with turntables into a long string of hoppers and stuff with some pyrothermics feeding into long strings of LPTs out to wherever they're needed. This has actually been set up a number of times to feed into different areas to try and build the defenses up, like this one over here. This one's still set up. It's doing some good, but I don't have a redundant one on the other side, or not a redundant, but a matching one on the other side, so I really should get that done, but this room really isn't symmetrical yet, and blah, 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 but yeah, that's why it's not all that. We're on our way. Again, that's going. Also getting fed from the bottom. Here we go with our lift inside the room again. I'm loving that setup. Again, the middle layer here is just mostly logistics, although in this room we are doing some work as well. We have the upfeed of the coal from downstairs into main processing. This is my standard setup that I've been using for 2 or 3 worlds now for processing coal into infused coal, and then infused coal into enriched coal. The same setup works for both machine sets. What you're looking at is really it's as a dynamic, as a packed setup for these infusers onto a single, what you call it there, induction charger that I could get. I couldn't find anything more compacted. Got 10 machines on here processing all at once, feeding into a middle with the coal basically wrapping around in a nice hefty backup supply in case there's any slowdowns in the supply. Try to balance out all of the um, fluctuations in various production and supply throughout my line to have nice big backups, nice big buffers. So I have hundreds and hundreds of coal in a buffer here, just waiting even to be processed, and then being fed around one single output feed all the way down here to some conveyors feeding downstairs into, you guessed it, a mass storage. This one here is mass storage for feeding out to the base. All the infused coal comes down into this line, gets fed into the mass storage, and then from here, fed out to all the places it's needed, either within this room or within the base. Here we have my mass storage just for the coal incoming from our various mining facilities. Right now I have 2 feeds incoming, all feeding into this one mass storage, where that's just feeding upstairs to our processing into enriched and infused coal. Here we have downstairs, power generation area. This area really is getting used rather heavily. This is what's feeding all of our cargo lifts and all of our ore smelting processing. And this is also feeding the induction charger that's feeding all of the coal infusing and enriching upstairs as well. So the whole room is really kind of feeding itself. It only takes just a little bit of power just to get it going. And then it's really pretty cyclical in its functionality, and it just keeps running and keeps running. What's that? Perpetual. Yes, perpetual. Not that it's truly perpetual. That would have been great if I magically created perpetual energy in a video game, but oh well. So, yep, then we feed it outside, and that's how we're feeding it. We're going directly across the mine shaft through some glass into the induction chargers over there below the smelters. And that's also feeding upwards to a line of energy cells into our cargo lifts. You can see there's little hoppers up above each one. Every single cargo lift is set up with a feed of rack rails. So automatically being fed from the main resource feed into a rack rail creation, being fed over to all of them. So when I need to expand them, all I got to do is hit the button, and they have an automatic feed of rack rails constantly getting fed to them, being made, and oh, because I just so the rack rails will just be automatically fed in. And so I do have room for one more without stretching in front of this door, but again, I said that this door is probably going to move. I think it's going to go to that end, way down there, once I extend the room out to its final length. I think that's where it's going to go. And then I could possibly extend the mine shaft all the way up to the lift going downstairs if I needed to. Again, I don't think I'm going to need to. I think the molybdenum and the chromium is going to get brought up to the cold caverns, but I'm not completely sure yet, so we'll see. But this shaft is going all the way down. Their ore has not been cleared out, but for the most part, it is going all the way down to the cold caverns, with about half of it going all the way down to about 450, minus 450, right above the toxic caverns, where I'm getting my gold, titanium, and nickel. I did not want to go down. This actually is part of the ore, the tin vein that I'm mining out of right now. You can see it's huge. Oh, didn't really want to fall, but okay. Rather big, massive. It was a big one to find right off the bat. I forget what it started with, but here's what it's at now. What is it? 5.76 million. So I think it's actually getting near the end. I think it was upwards in the 20 million-ish. This one's our copper that we're working on right now. 3 million left in that guy. He was pretty big. I think he was like 7 million when we started. There's that other copper way off in the distance. But again, I think I'm going to go for this guy that I found down there. How I actually get to him, I forget. But I got a waypoint that I'll just keep digging to find. So you see all the ores coming in here to their conveyor. I'm to the not their conveyors, to their hoppers, and getting cargo lifted up from there. And so why don't we head on downstairs into the cold caverns? I'm going to take the quick way, which is the teleporter. I don't have a quick way up yet. Well, actually I do, but it's in a really inconvenient spot, so I barely ever use it. But here is my downstairs setup. We're in the cold caverns. I do have a room set up. I do not have the room heater set up. I assume that's why this fog is in this room. I'm really confused. I don't quite know what it's for. I do have the teleporter set up, but I tried setting up the heater, and it just didn't seem to be able to keep up with the power, even though I thought I was bringing down. I mean, it's not like I'm bringing down a ton of power. All of this is just tier 1 with no lenses. Decent amount, right? But it is just 10 times that decent amount. So, I don't know. I just opened the tier 2 ones, but I can barely afford one of them right now. So, I've got to ramp up the production on that a little bit. And then I'll probably change out all of the LPTs coming down here to tier 2s. By then, I should also be close to getting biomass production going, which should hopefully, then I'll make some power generation down here with the turbines. I don't think DJ has nerfed that yet. Last I knew, turbines worked as well down here as they did upstairs. I'm also kind of wondering is if I do heat this room up and turn it into a clean room, am I going to be able to run pyrothermics down here as though they're on the surface? That would be really cool. I'm not really sure, but we'll see when I do get some power here. That'll be interesting if I have to like make enough power in order to keep the room clean, and just so I can make enough power, I'm not really sure how that's going to work. We'll see. But I do have a lift going down to my other ore gathering areas, which it does need to get extended and cleaned up a little bit more. I did a little bit down here. This is probably the best. This is that floor where I kind of plan to make a little bit of a base, a stopping point, power recharge, all that stuff, something to get back to. Maybe. I don't know. I might completely abandon it once everything around here wears out. I don't know. It's just some construction pace, so who cares? At the very least, it's going to be a power station because, LPTs only go 64 blocks, and this is the extent of... Oh, look at that. At the reach of the LPTs. Oh, well. So I do not have all the power coming down all the way across down here yet, but I'm on my way there. Doing pretty good on resources now. 150-ish, almost LPTs, 100 power storage blocks. Really not that many, seeing as how it takes 100 power storage block ones to make 25 MK2s. And MK2s really aren't even that good, right? We have the MK3s open now. So yeah, we're getting there, but we like I said, we have to get our defense fixed, so we can start progressing again at a normal pace. And I forgot that I was supposed to come down here. This is a secondary lithium mine that I set up, right? Is that lithium? No, it's nickel mine that I set up. 700,000. I think my other one is about the same, 600,000. So the two of them together should last me a little bit. thought that was the big one I had, so maybe it was titanium that I found a big one. Maybe not. Maybe I need both. That's my gold right now, but it's really small. Once that's over, I did find a big gold right downstairs, right around here. I don't believe I'm mining it yet. Maybe I did. Okay, so that's 3.2 nickel. So the two of those together, I hope they'll last me a while. Yeah, that's only got like 80,000 in it, I think. Like I said, somewhere around here, I did find a nice gold. That would not be cool at all. It was a nice big gold. Huh. That's gonna be fun. Well, I'm not gonna sit here and run around looking for this thing. Because I seem to be right now, don't I? But yeah, I had a nice big gold somewhere. Thought I was adventuring down a little bit further, but I'm not even seeing somewhere where I went down. Usually I leave a mark for myself. Interesting. Oh, we'll have to figure that out. I think this is where I'm getting my titanium from now. How big is this guy? Oh, I'm starting to get some damage up there. 10 million, 11 million. So I think I did put. Oh, they might have run out by now. I may have to put some more back in here. I only have the at least that I can easily get. I have the organic cutter heads, so I have been using some stingers to make some. Although trying not to use too many because I know they get used for the missiles later on. So I don't want to use too many of those. Sure, I mean, I have lights out here, but not many. I was messing around in here the other day. I went on a hunt for gems so I could get some new lenses because I really didn't have many resources to get some lenses. And I found resources to get lenses. I found a mother load of sapphires, which was great. Don't have the topaz and what's the pink one? I don't have those open yet. Sapphire is the best one I do have. So it was great to find them. But stupid me, I don't think I grabbed a waypoint for that gold. See a waypoint for gold anywhere. Oh boy. So I'm gonna have to go hunting for that gold. That's nice. But yep, that's my base, and so I think that'll probably be the end of my stream here for today. I'm gonna collect up some of these bug parts here and put the ones that I can store away, and then next time I think we'll come back and we'll just be building up the base. Right now, I'm still trying to build out the automation, so we'll continue on with that. Maybe we'll be at a point where I can turn on the lab and start researching the tier 3 turret one so I can get that going. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and I will see you soon.